Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MTG Place podcast. I am your host, Corey, and joined with me today is James and Jake. So we got both of them today. So say hi, guys. How was your guys' weekend and everything?
Hey, this is James. My weekend was pretty great.
Jake chiming in. My weekend was pretty good. Got a lot of work done around the house.
Yes, adulting.
Yeah, so
Time for Magic News!
release is this week. A special draft format that combines every card from Innistrad Midnight Hunt and every card from Crimson Vow. It's literally they took half of each set, and that's your pack. You get 4 commons from each. One I think is 1 or 2 uncommons from each, and 1 rare from each in the pack. And they charge $10 for the packs, and they're the monochrome color. You guys gonna play any double feature?
Possibly, if I'm not too busy around the house, might be able to get over to one.
What about you, James?
I'm thinking about it. It seems like it could be fun. Especially if one of you guys go. Should be. I haven't done a release or pre-release or whatever in a while, so it'd be nice to get back into it.
Yeah, and then second bit of news, the Unfinity, the space unset, the 4th unset, I believe it is, was supposed to come out April 1st, but it was delayed to the second half of this year due to COVID. So we'll have to wait on that.
COVID strikes again. Hate to see it.
It's one of those things, though, that I'm like, we could just wait. There's a lot of other sets coming out that I'm more interested in.
An unset being delayed isn't the end of the world. I mean, they're fun, sure, but, not really anything we're, waiting for out of it, so.
Yeah, and then we had 2 bans this week. We had Popper, and Popper was banned. Atog, Bonder's Ornament, and Prophetic Prison was banned. You guys play Popper enough to know the effects on that?
That is not a set that I know very well. Or sorry. That is not a format that I know very well, so I'm not exactly sure personally.
Yeah, so Atog made Affinity super good, so they banned that. The Bonder's Ornament and Prophetic Prison made Tron super good in Popper because, the Tron lands are just insane as it is, and being able to play that in a set with only commons is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like, let's take one of the most top modern decks and turn it into a Popper deck and make it super godly there. No, thank you.
Yeah, so they banned Expedition Map last year to make an impact, but it ended up doing very little, so now they're banning 2 more cards from that deck.
Yeah, that's pretty understandable. Having a pretty high tier deck in something like Modern and Popper, that I can see how that could be rather a big issue.
Yeah, and then we got a second ban a couple days later. For Standard, they banned Ulrun's Epiphany, Divided by Zero, and Faithless Haven. Of these 3 cards, the only one that I honestly wanted to go was Ulrun's Epiphany because creating 2 bird tokens and taking an extra turn was just stupid. Like, everybody that played blue control had that in their deck.
Yeah, take an extra turn in Magic is leave that to the older formats, Commander, Legacy,
Exactly.
That shit.
What's the CMC on that card? Or sorry, mana cost.
Yeah, it's 7 if you just hardcast it, or you can foretell it down for 2 mana and then later in the game play it for 6.
Yeah, taking an extra turn, yeah. I feel like the other take an extra turn cards that were like standard cards in their time were around that cost, but it still seems like it's not enough. Like, it needs to be like less, or it needs to be more.
Yeah, my main issue with it is that it also gives you 2 flying bird tokens. So it's like, oh, take an extra turn, get 2 flyers, and then it's like, okay, and then on my extra turn I'll play another one of them because you can play 4 of these. So like,
yeah,
because it's standard.
Because Temporal Mastery was 7 just to take an extra turn. I'm pretty sure you didn't do anything else, if I remember right. And that was from, I can't remember what set that was.
I think Addison.
Way back, yeah. But it's like, oh yeah, take an extra turn, and you get creatures on the field that fly, which is even better.
In Standard, where it's harder to deal with stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. Like, having a board presence in Standard is a pretty big deal, especially in, like, Blue.
Yeah, and then the banning of Divide by Zero is whatever. I really didn't have an issue with that card because it bounces something that has a value 1 or greater, and then you get to learn, so get a lesson from outside the game into your hand. So it's basically bounce something, draw a card, basically. Except for it's a card from your sideboard.
Yeah, they don't really like stuff like that in Standard. I'm surprised it was even there to begin with.
It almost sounds like a wish to me, which is kind of... I can see how that could be pretty powerful. Because we haven't had cards like that in a very long time, I feel.
And then the last one banned was the Faithless Haven. I didn't really have an issue with that because literally just everyone played it. So that's probably the reason, is because every deck just played 4 of them and Snowlands because of it. Because like, why wouldn't you just play a land that you can later turn into a 4/3 Vigilance?
Yeah, and it doesn't have any color identity, so it's like any deck can play it.
Yeah, just as long as you play Snowlands, so you just play
Yeah.
Snow Mountains.
Which,
Exactly.
I mean, it's easy to do.
Yeah. And then Legacy, they banned Ravagan, so they thought Ravagan was too good for Legacy. So I'm surprised that they didn't hit Modern with it, the ban yet, but maybe they will later. But so Ravagan is super good and it's banned.
I think that's coming. That card is just insanely powerful.
Yeah, that's very understandable. It's kind of like a...
It's like a way better version of Goblin Guide.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's...
Which sucks. Goblin Guide was freaking insane back in the day, so yeah.
Yeah, it's because, I mean, it's literally like, oh, I swing damage to a player, I get a treasure token, exile the top card of your deck, and then I can play that.
Yeah, it seems good.
1 mana for a 2/1, or 2 mana for 2/1 haste.
Yeah, that's very powerful.
And you just dash it in. Like, I can't believe it lasted as long as it did in Legacy.
Anything that's 1 mana cost for a 2-attack creature with haste is just gross.
Yeah, and then Historic, they banned Memory Lapse, which was already suspended anyway, so whatever. And they rebounced Teferi, so that's a thing they can do only on Arena. So Teferi, they basically made it they got rid of its ultimate and made it so it's -3 instead of -2 on its second ability.
Interesting.
Yep. What's nice, though, now that all of these bans went through, they're cheaper for Commander. I'll probably be picking up some Regavan.
Oh, yeah.
And then on to the finance section of the news. This week we had Frankenstein's Monster. Did you guys ever use that card?
I have not.
It could just be a old card spike, but it went up 230% to $82.
That's insane. I've never even heard of that card.
Is it just like on the reserve list? Is that like the only reason, I wonder? What set's it from?
I want to say, what is copyright? Is revised.
Okay, it very well could just be a reserve card or reserve list card.
This says it's combining with Umbrus and Gravestorm decks, and it is on the reserve list.
Yeah, pretty much. If it's on the reserve list, it's gonna go up no matter what. Pretty much.
Well, especially if it's in decks, like.
Yeah, and especially if it's played. Exactly.
Yeah, and it looks like it's X and 2 for a 0/1 that removes X creatures from the game when it comes in, and then you get a 1 +2/+0 or +1/+1 or +0/+2 for every monster you removed.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a weird card. You can get different kinds of counters other than +1/+1.
What's crazy is it's already on a downturn.
Yeah.
It's spiked up to $245, but it's still, I mean, it dropped down to the 82, but still.
Right.
I kind of foresee it going back down to what it was originally at.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll go up and down a bit.
And then Elvish Reclaimer has shot up 25% to $6 due to Legacy and Modern playing this as a good card either in the main deck or the sideboard for like land or for what's it called, elves decks and stuff, because you can sacrifice the Reclaimer to get a Karakas or a Bajuka Bog right at instant speed.
Yeah, it's nice. Anything that has to do with land is always good, especially at instant speed.
And then Helm of Possession is up to $10, up 36%. Which honestly, I don't think it's that good of a card, but again,
Yeah,
a card that steals shit.
it's just one of. I feel like that's like one of like the original like you could take your opponent's shit card.
Right.
So that's probably why.
And at the all-time low right now is Mana Farm Hellkite. So if you need that dragon for any of your decks from Crimson Vow, it's down to $6 right now.
Get it for your dragons, Corey.
Yep. All right, so we like to do the top 5 cards, not including power or dual lands. This set that we're doing this week I don't believe has any power or dual lands, so we're doing Arabian Nights.
Ooh, nice.
So if you guys had to guess, what is the most expensive card in Arabian Nights?
Oh, God. I don't even know what even all the cards are even in Arabian Nights.
Basic Mountain.
Oh, wait,
No,
is that...
The mountain is $360 from Arabian Nights.
Is that the one that has the Mount Fuji mountain?
It's the only mountain in the set.
Oh, okay. Because I know there's one set that has like the Mount Fuji one that's worth a crap ton. I don't know which set that is though.
Well, that's the Pacific land, the Asia Pacific lands.
Oh, okay.
Those are completely different. This one, Mountain was the only basic land that was in Arabian Nights.
Yeah, they were supposed to have no basic lands in the set, and they misprinted a mountain in there.
Oh.
So it's the only basic land in the set, and that's why it's worth like $300.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I would have to say either Bazaar of Baghdad or Library of Alexandria.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so
those cards are insane.
Yeah, Bazaar
TCG median right now is $4,000.
Woohoo!
Damage average is $2,000.
God, you could freaking buy a Mox with that.
Well, if you play Dredge in Vintage, hold on to your Bazaars.
Yeah.
Hold on to them. They're going to keep going up.
And then number 2 is Library.
Yep. It was one of the two I was going to say for my 1-2.
Average market price $2,000. Median for good condition is almost $8,000.
Damn.
And John's kicking himself for selling that for $2,000.
Dude, I know.
another John kicking himself for buying the Drop of Honey.
Yep, I know.
He cannot get rid of. That's got to be somewhere on the list. I think
he still freaking has it too. I don't think he's ever gotten rid of that.
The Drop of Honey's in the top 10. It's like $700.
Yeah, but no one wants it because it's worthless. It's just worth
it's
money.
Not a good card. That's why.
It's just worth money because it's in that damn set.
All right, any idea what the third card
is? Yeah, outside of those, I really don't know.
I could take a guess, but I don't know.
It's I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Wazam Jin.
Oh, Juzam Jin. Yeah.
2 for a 5/5, 2 mana for a 5/5 that take a damage every upkeep. $1,700.
Nice.
The fourth one is the land Diamond Valley, which is sacrifice a creature, gain life equals toughness on a land. So it's like a better version of High Market.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fifth card is Guardian Beast, which is 1 or 3 in a black for a 2/4 that as long as it's untapped, the non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted, have indestructible, and other players can't gain control of them. If this effect doesn't remove auras already attached. That's whack.
What's pretty crazy is, most of those are land, too.
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
That follows the Magic the Gathering, typical trope. If it does something with mana, it's usually worth money.
Yep. Old lands are great.
And I think this is also the set that had that Islands of Whack Whack.
Yes, it does. This set has a lot of good stuff. If you are someone with a whole complete set of this, it's worth like a few $1,000s now. multiple
tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, you could buy like multiple Power 9, basically.
If you had the full set, you could probably buy all the Power 9.
That's just insane to think about. Oh my god,
close.
so much.
I mean, you have to buy like revised versions, probably.
Yeah, you're probably not going to buy alpha versions of them, but you can probably get your hands on them.
Yeah.
All right, so the main phase this week, since we have everybody on the show, we're going to do Magic Trivia. So I'm going to ask who wants to start. I'll ask one of you the first question, and if you get it wrong, then I'll pass the other person to get a chance to get it, and whoever gets the most right gets the point, or gets a point if you get it right, and whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Jake, you want to start?
We'll let you go first, James.
All right.
All right. So question 1. This is the theme of this is from Magic's 25th anniversary. So.
Okay.
All right. So when Richard Garfield first approached Wizards to sell the game, it wasn't called Magic. What game would Wizards later produced that Richard was initially pitching? So they were pitching a game that wasn't Magic originally when they first went to win the Wizards. There's a multiple choice here.
Okay.
A is Filthy Rich, B is The Great Dalamudi, C is Robo Rally, or D is Twitch.
Oh God. Okay. Read those again. The answers.
Filthy Rich, Great Dalamudi, Robo Rally, or Twitch.
I'm gonna go with B.
That's incorrect. So, Jake, do you want to try and steal the point?
I'm stealing this point because I've read a lot of information and watched documentaries about Richard Garfield, and it's going to be C, Robo Rally.
Yep, so it's Robo Rally was the game they originally pitched. So Jake's got 1 point, and now it's Jake's turn to be read for the question first. So, Jake, in their first press announcement about their upcoming trading card game, Wizards of the Coast didn't refer to the game as Magic the Gathering. What was it called? It would rather become the name of a Magic card. Was it called Mana Bond, Mana Bloom, Mana Clash, or Mana Flare?
Bing, bing, bing. Point number 2 to Jake. It's going to be C, Mana Clash.
It is Mana Clash.
I swear to God, I'm not looking at the answers.
Jake studied for this shit.
I know. Oh, I didn't study. I just know. I've learned a lot about Magic over the years, and keep stupid, crazy, random trivia stuck in my head.
All right, so now it's James's turn to get the question first here. So, James, question number 3 is Magic first went on sale at a convention in the summer of 1993. What convention was it? Dragon Con, Gen Con, Orc Con, or Origins Con?
Jeez, there's cons? Like, all these are actual cons? What the heck? I gotta say Dragon Con. That sounds like the coolest one.
That's incorrect. Do you know what
darn.
it is, Jake?
I do. It was Gen Con.
Yeah, that's actually the only con of those that I've even heard of.
I honestly haven't heard of any of them.
I think some of the answers were thrown in there to push you off of what the answer was, maybe.
It said the cards technically did first appear at the Origins Con, but they were just for demonstration purposes, and the first one they had for sale was Gen Con. Before it started, they had delivered the first shipment of 6,000 Magic cards that had been sold to distributors. So,
interesting information to know.
All right, so now it is Jake's turn to get the question first. In limited edition Alpha, artist Mark Poole submitted an illustration for a dual land, but it ended up being made into its own card instead of being the dual land. What card was it? Birds of Paradise, Fast Bond, Wild Growth, or Island Sanctuary?
So, Wild Growth looks like it could be a dual land, but that Birds of Paradise looks like, it looks like the, Volcanic Island. So I'm going to go with Birds of Paradise.
Yeah, that is the correct answer. Is Birds of Paradise.
Oh, really?
It said when he turned it in, Mark turned it in. Richard Scarfield saw it when it came in, thought the bird was too prominent, but he liked the art, so he built a brand new card around the bird. And then later, Mark Poole also made Tropical Island art that's basically similar to that.
It looks similar to Volcanic Island too.
Yeah, so Tropical Island is what he was supposed to do that art for, but then he ended up doing a different dual land art, which ended up being Volcanic Island. So yeah,
Interesting.
so he actually drew it to be Tropical Island, but then it ended up being like the zoomed in version of it. So that if you look at Volcanic Island, the island in the background of Birds of Paradise is basically what Volcanic Island is now. So it's kind of cool. More you know. All right, so James, your turn to get one first. Ready here? You got to get on the board here.
I know.
All right, so at the end of the summer in 1994, what card had more copies in existence than any other card? Was it a Tog, Dark Ritual, Grizzly Bears, or Stone Rain?
It has to be Grizzly Bears, right?
That's incorrect.
Really? Wow.
Jake, you want to make a guess?
When was Burn originally formatted?
What do you mean?
When did they start making the classical Burn decks?
Probably. Mono Red's been a thing forever. So, like
Lightning Bolt's been a thing forever.
Shit. So originally.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with. I've seen James's Dead Grandpa Magic box, and it has a lot of Dark Rituals in it, but it just doesn't seem like that because there was a lot of fast mana at that time. And it's not Grizzly Bears, which I initially thought. I'm gonna go with a Tog.
Yeah, the answer is a Tog.
Really?
So Tog was the most print because Revised Edition was the most popular at the time. Tog had been in Revised and Antiquities and Arabian Nights.
Oh, geez.
Well, the rest had only been in one other set.
Well, that makes sense.
I was about to say, because Grizzly Bears has been reprinted so many times. I guess it wasn't much back then.
But like in 1994, though,
in '94, Legends had just come out, basically. So it was the fifth, sixth set of Magic.
It would be interesting to see which one has the most copies in existence now.
Right. Yeah, now
I'd put money on Dark Rid or Grizzly Bears.
Yeah, Dark Rid has been reprinted many times as well.
Somebody that's listening can look that up and comment it on the show because I don't know.
Yeah, if someone wants to look that up for us and find out, that'd be awesome.
It's a big catalog to go through.
All right, so next Jake's first here. So 1995, Ice Age premiered the new tweaked white mana symbol. What card, because it was printed as a preview promo, has the distinct honor of being the only card ever printed with both versions of the white mana symbol? So it has the old one and then the new revised one that we have today. Was it Elvish Healer, Keldhorn Sky Knight, Prismatic Ward, or Warning?
I have no clue on this one. I guess they say to go with C. If you're just picking random.
That's the correct answer.
Really? Yeah.
So it's Prismatic Ward.
Prismatic Ward, interesting.
Yep,
maybe. See, though, James went with C on Grizzly Bears last time and it was wrong.
Yeah,
right.
But if you have no clue, I guess you have to go with C. So
the funny thing is, by today's criteria, that would have been a really bad choice for the preview promo. But for Ice Age, the preview promo was Prismatic Ward.
Yeah, definitely not the promo that I would have thought in that set.
Right. All right, so question 7 is starting with James here, so you can get on the board finally here. So Mirage's Morrow, so you know the card Morrow from Mirage?
Yes.
Is one of the few pieces of art not originally illustrated for a Magic card. What did the artist Stuart Griffin call the original painting for Morrow? Was it called Earth Father, Force of Nature, The Green Man, or King of the Jungle?
Oh, God. It's gotta be like one of those. Um. Is it Earthfather?
That is incorrect. Jake, you're trying to steal.
Damn.
I'm sure you saw me mouthing it over video. It's Green Man.
Yeah, the Green Man is what it was. But all of these could be true. Like when you look at the art, you could see it being called any of those.
Yeah, I mean, I
The only one
I don't really feel, but
the only one I couldn't see it being at, if any, is Force of Nature.
Yeah, because that's already a card.
that's a card. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the answer is Green Man. So now it goes over to Jake. Question 8. How many cards came in the original Alliance's booster pack? 8, 10, 12, or 15?
No clue. Going with C.
C's right again.
My
the hell?
God.
I mean, I know the old packs had less cards in them, but I no clue.
Jake's over here 8 for 8.
I know, right?
Guessing C.
No, I'm not. I'm not 8 for 8.
Yeah, you are. You got 8 points.
What the hell?
Because you stole all James's points.
Well,
I mean, granted, you had a better chance of guessing on the ones that James got wrong.
well, yeah, you go with C, and then I've the ones that I've guessed C has been right. Maybe James should just start guessing C.
I know.
All right, and then so now James, here you go. Here, so question 9: which of the following things didn't first appear in the unglued Magic set? Was it coin flipping, creature token cards, full art lands, or referencing multiplayer play in the rules text?
I know what the unglued lands look like. Would those be considered full art? Because they're like weird. So no, the lands were weird, but they're not like the full card. I'm gonna say full art lands.
All right, that's incorrect.
Oh my God! Seriously?
So, Jake, you want to try and steal?
Well, C's gone.
Yeah.
No, James, those did first appear in Unglued, and they were full art.
Yeah, so they considered those lands full art, obviously.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I'm like, they weren't full art by today's terms, but they were, I guess, they were specialty or whatever.
Yeah. I'm assuming by the question that they all were in Unglued.
Yeah, all of the abilities were unglued. It's just which one appeared before unglued.
Multiplayer rules in the text?
That's not right. So their
Yeah.
answer is coin flipping. There was a card that referenced coin flipping before in Arabian
Oh.
Nights.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
All right, so question 10. This is going to start with Jake here. Urza's Legacy was the first set to have which of the following in its booster packs? Collector's numbers, copyright dates, rarity symbols, or premium foil versions of the cards?
I don't know. I feel like it's not rarity symbols going with my C answers. I feel like those were before Urza's Legacy. And the copyright dates were obviously there. So I foil, is that when foil started?
Yeah, that's correct. It's what foils.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know exactly when foil started, so
Because
copyright started in Legends, Collector's Numbers, and Rarity started in Exodus.
because Kratos foil, and that's from that set.
oh yeah, I suppose that makes sense then. I didn't know I didn't know which set exactly it was the first.
I thought Kratos was from Urza's Saga.
Or it is from. Oh, sorry.
So
Yeah,
Kratos-
wrong
still,
block.
Judge
Technically.
promo is why it's foil.
It's the right block, but it's just the wrong set.
So technically,
Yeah.
there isn't. You can't pull a foil cradle in the set. You have to have the judge promo.
Oh, okay,
So
I
that
guess
was
it's
one
a
of the
slight
first
difference.
times they reprinted a reserve list card, and everyone got made a stink about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now
Yeah, so I was gonna say the rarity symbol started in like 5th edition, I think is what it was. So which was
Exodus,
way before that.
Probably the expansion set before that. So James, what appears fully or partially on the art of every kicker spell in the set Invasion?
Oh, jeez.
Is it a collation symbol, a Phyrexian symbol, a Planeswalker symbol, or the Weatherlight?
What was the last answer?
The Weatherlight.
The Weatherlight. Every art of a kicker card?
Yeah, so in every artwork of a kicker spell, there's either a collation symbol, a Phyrexian symbol, a Planeswalker symbol, or the Weatherlight.
Oh my goodness.
Which I honestly didn't even know that this was a thing. So now
no, I didn't either. And I'm usually pay attention to art in the cards. I'm just like, what the heck? This is a thing? I'm gonna say the Planeswalker symbol.
No, that's incorrect. You want to chance to steal, Jake?
Well, C's gone again. So let me try to deduce here. So Phyrexian symbol, I would assume wasn't, because that would be in like New Phyrexia or whatever. Weatherlight is also its own set, and Planeswalker is gone, so it's got to be Coalition.
Yeah, so it's the coalition symbols in every one of them.
I mean, just by deducing, like Planeswalker, if that's not it, the other two are their own sets.
So it shows up in the art of all the kicker spells, and it's represented for them fighting back against the Phyrexians. It says Wizards has learned over time the difficulty of lining up a mechanic with a popular callout in the art makes it very hard to add or remove the mechanic late in design. So it's not something they do anymore. So that was the last set that did that.
Another question for the audience: how many other sets did that?
Right. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to start with Jake on this one. Which card in Odyssey used art commissioned for a card that was never published in Unglued 2? So there originally was going to be an Unglued 2, which they never did. What artwork that was for that set made it into a real card? Was it a Togatog, Cultural Exchange, Elephant Ambush, or Squirrel Nest?
I mean, I gotta go with a Togatog because a Tog is a card, and if that was a card, maybe they were gonna go for 2 Togs. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a Togatog. And when you look at the art for a Togatog, it kind of looks like it belongs in an unset where all the rest of them in the options look like normal artworks.
Yeah, I actually have that card, and it is very weird looking. And it's also a 5-color card, which back then was very rare to find.
Yeah. All right, so now we're starting with James here. So Torment is the set where one color, black, had the highest percentage of a card color ever in a set. Of the 143 cards, what percentage of the set was black? 28%, which would be 40 cards, 32%, which would be 45 cards, 35%, which would be 50 cards, or 38%, which would be 55 cards.
Out of 145, you said?
Out of 143.
143.
So like normally 1/5 of the set, would be like 29 cards is what they usually do. So for some reason this set had way more.
I'll say 35%.
That's incorrect. Do you want to try to steal, Jake?
James taking all the C answers, and now I have no clue. 32%.
That's also wrong. It's 28%. So 40 cards. It says they've learned that one of the lessons they learned over the 20 years is you don't need to change much to change everything. So having exactly 1/5 of a 143 card set is what they do now, which would be 29 cards. So the fact that black had 40, which is more than normal, was a small shift in why black became really popular in that time, and that set had a lot of good black cards.
Oh,
Makes
crazy!
sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because I remember there being a lot of that was like a big player base back then.
All right, so now we're going back to Jake here. What evergreen keyword was first introduced in the set Legions? Was it haste, double strike, flash, or vigilance?
Slivers. Double strike.
That's correct.
Are you
Double
kidding
strike.
me?
The first time double strike appeared was in Legions.
No way.
Yep. It was actually created by someone. They did a poll called "Someone Submit Mechanics for You Make the Card," and it wasn't appropriate for someone who turned in a green creature card, but they liked that ability, so they ended up making it a ability.
That's crazy. I mean, I legions, and I was thinking slivers, and I'm like, haste doesn't make sense because I feel like that was
Ace has been around
earlier.
forever.
Yeah.
Flash seems like it was like later, and vigilance. I don't
Vigilance
know.
was like
Yeah. So
Vigilance wasn't an actual keyword until like way later.
Yeah. So it says haste premiered a long time early before Legions in 6th edition. The flash keyword came up in Time Spiral, and vigilance premiered in Champions of Kamigawa.
Yeah. Because I know, like, even like 7th edition, they were saying, like, you know, tacking does not cause this to tap.
Right.
Interesting.
All right, so now we're off to James's turn here, see if we can get on the board. So some people consider Champions of Kamigawa to have 306 cards. Some consider it to have 307 cards. Why is this? A, one card has two pieces of art, so 2 artworks. B, the starter game at the time was considered part of the set and had one mechanically unique card. C, there was a typo fixed in the second printing. Or D, there was a unique Champions of Kamigawa promo card made that was given away only at Grand Prix.
The Kamigawa, was that the set that had that 2-piece card? I'm trying to think. Because I know that was a thing in somewhere. I don't think it had the flip cards. I don't think it had that, though. I'm going to say there was a promo. D.
So that's incorrect. So, Jake, you want to try to steal?
Yeah, it was the card that had 2 pieces of art.
Yeah, it was.
It was the 2 brothers, and they were facing the opposite way.
Yeah, so it's the exact
Oh
same
my
card.
god, really?
They just printed one with the guy facing right and one with the guy facing left.
Yeah, it was like literally this.
So it's the same card, but it's like one artwork of each brother.
Yeah, it's literally mechanically the exact same card, same wording, same mana cost. Just the art was the 2 brothers facing the opposite ways.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, and it said this little gag they did ended up costing them a lot more money than planned, inadvertently required adding the whole extra printing sheets. He said had they known this ahead of time, they would have never done it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to get that, James, because you mentioned the card with different art. So I was like, oh, he's got it.
All right, so now over to Jake to start here. Which legendary creature was the protagonist of Ravnica City of Guilds, the novel? Was it Argus Cause, Savra, Seazdeg, or Tolismir?
I have no clue. The only book I've ever read was Brothers War, so C.
That's incorrect. James, you want to try and steal?
Is it Tolsmere?
It is not.
Fuck.
Argus Cause.
That was like the only one that I like knew of. I haven't heard those other names at all.
Well, Seazdeg I used to have a commander deck of, the mill guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Argus Cause or Savra are cards. They probably are, but
I mean, they have to be if they're in the novels, but yeah, I don't remember playing them like at all.
all right. So now James's turn to start here. Including time shifted cards, How many non-evergreen keyword or ability words mechanics appeared in Time Spiral? Does that make sense?
So what does evergreen mean exactly?
So evergreen is like vigilance, whatever.
Okay,
so it's basically saying
that's what I figured.
out of vigilance and all that, like vigilance, haste, whatever.
Yeah.
How many cards had text on them that is that ability, but wasn't an evergreen keyword yet?
Oh God. Okay.
So how many cards in that set had that? So they had the whole long text instead of the keyword in Time Spiral. Was it 7, 9, 11, or 13?
I'm gonna say 9.
That's incorrect. Jake, you want to try and steal?
C11.
That's also incorrect. So it's actually 13.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow.
So it actually
Man.
13 non-evergreen keywords that now are, and that was buyback, echo, flanking, flashback, kicker, madness, morph, rampage, shadow, split second, storm, suspend, and threshold.
That's insane. I had no idea they had that many back then.
Yeah, so those are keywords that they use, but they're not like evergreen to appear.
Right. Like I can't believe they referenced like split second way back then. Like what the hell?
Right. Okay, question 18. So Jake is first on this one. Which was the first future shifted card from Future Sight to see its initial printing in a later set? So basically it was in Future Sight and then it actually got printed later. Because like the Future Sight's supposed to be predicting the future. So was it Boldweir Intimidator, Mistress Meadow Skulk, Nessian Courser, or Phosphorescent Feast? Wait, that card's hard to pronounce.
Phosphorescent Feast, and I don't think it's that. I'm going to go with C, Nessian Courser.
That's incorrect. James, you want to try to steal?
What were the other choices?
Boldweir Intimidator, Mist Meadow Skulk, or Phosphorescent Feast.
Let's see. Intimidator?
Yeah, that's correct. You got one.
Yes, finally.
That's the whole Cowards Can't Block Warriors card.
Oh yeah, that card's fantastic. Yeah.
James is on the board.
I finally answered something right.
Marking a comeback.
Yeah, he's got 1 point. Woo!
1 whole point.
All right, so question starting with James this time. So discounting any future shifted cards from Future Sight, Shards of Alara introduced a number of things to standard legal sets. Which one of the following was it not the first to do? So was it artifacts requiring colored mana symbols in the cost, basic land slot in every booster pack, mythic rare cards, the start of Planeswalker appearing in every standard legal set?
Planeswalkers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's correct. Planeswalker.
Yeah, because that was Lorwyn.
Yep.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Lauren was before Alara.
Or Zendikar, I guess. But Lorwyn was the first Planeswalker. Zendikar's really started.
Yeah, Chandra was the first one, if I remember right.
And then question 20. So now we're over to Jake. Which character who appears in Zendikar, which was originally created to appear in the Duels of the Planeswalker video game? Was it Iona, Lorthos, Nissa, or Sorin?
So, how many points do I have right now?
17.
I have 17 points.
You have like all the points.
Okay, so James can't come back.
Yeah,
James can't come back. I know this one because I played the shit out of this video game. Nissa.
Yeah, it's Nissa.
Those games were pretty sick back in the day. I mean, they were pretty basic, but they were fun for sure.
Right,
especially since we didn't have Arena back then.
So James, prior to the release of Scars of Mirrodin, how many cards in Magic could give a player poison counters? Was it 9, 12, 15, or 18? So obviously Scars is where they put a lot of poisons.
Apparently so. I'll say 12.
Incorrect. Jake, you want to try to steal?
I want to try to steal, but I don't know. So I'm going to go with C again, 15.
That's also correct. So it's 9.
Oh, okay. I was
There were 9 cards before Scars that made poison counters. They were Pit Scorpion, Serpent Generator, Marsh Viper, Crypt Cobra, Sabertooth Cobra, some word I can't pronounce, and then Assassin, Swamp Mosquito, Snake Cult Initiation, and Virulent Sliver, and Leeches.
What a surprise. Corey can't pronounce a card.
I know, right? I don't know how great Corey is a reading word.
It's like Suckata or some shit. I don't know. It's got an apostrophe.
How is it spelled?
SUQ''ATA.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
I would go with Suckata or Sukata.
I do remember Pit Scorpion being a thing. I think I actually have one of those in my dead grandpa box.
I remember the Sliver too that gives all slivers poison.
Yeah. Which that's just disgusting.
All right, so now we're on to Jake. So you start this one. The design of which Innistrad double-faced card was not inspired by a specific classic horror story film? Was it Civilized Scholar, Cloistered Youth, Delver of Secrets, or Ludwig's Test Subject?
So let's try to guess what classic horror stories / films these were based off of. So my first is Ludwig's Test Subject. I'm going to go with that's like Frankenstein. That's just my guess. Delver of Secrets, Insectal Aberration. That seems like I have no idea. Cloistered Youth, Unholy Fiend, no idea. Civilized Scholar, Homicidal Brute. I'm going to go with Cloistered Youth and Unholy Fiend.
So that's incorrect. So we're going to
Okay.
steal.
Well, the first one sounds like Jekyll and Hyde, so it's got to be Delver.
So that's also incorrect.
What?
Really?
This says that Civilized Scholar, Homicide Brute, James was right, is inspired by Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The Cloistered Youth, Unholy Fiend was their take on a possessed child. Delver was inspired by a science experiment gone wrong. And Ludwig was playing an archetypal horror space, but wasn't like actually based on a specific story.
Okay.
But, I mean, that makes sense for like Frankenstein, though, doesn't it? Test Subject and Abomination.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it definitely does, which is they could.
That definitely threw me off.
Apparently, when they were designing it, they didn't think about that about Frankenstein. So, all right, and then question 23. So this is James here. Which of the following images does not appear on an RTR booster pack?
Oh God! Okay, I have to
Force
think
of Might,
way back here.
Corzota Guildmage, Niv-Mizzet, or Roxmati?
What was the first one?
Course of Might.
Course of Might. God, I can't even remember what these like pieces of art even looked like. It's been so long since I looked at RTR. I'm pretty sure Niv-Mizzet was, but I'll go with. Okay. What were the do the answers again?
Course of Might, Corzata Guildmage, Niv-Mizzet, and Rixmati.
I'm gonna go with D.
So that's incorrect. So Jake, you got a guess?
I have a guess. I don't know if it's on the right track or not. But so it's not D. It's not Niv-Mizzet. And so all of these Return to Ravnica was its guilds and stuff, and all of those Karazda Guildmage, Niv-Mizzet, and Rixmati all are guilds. So I would assume like they'd be on the booster. So I am going with Chorus of Might because it's the only one that's not a guild color.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so the packs were the Guild Mage, the new Prov Guild Mage, Niv-Mizzet, Rixmati, and Vitu-Ghazi Guild Mage. So all the Guild Mages and then Niv-Mizzet were the 5 booster pack people.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, so now we start with Jake here. Which creature type combination does not show up in Gatecrash? Is it Crocodile Frog, Human Ooze, Cyclops Warrior, or Spirit Advisor?
The only one that doesn't make any sense to me is Crocodile Frog.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
So that's not the answer. So James, you want to try and steal?
Yeah, what were the other answers?
So Crocodile Frog, Human Ooze, Cyclops Warrior, Spirit Advisor, which does not appear on a card in Gatecrash.
Human Advisor?
That's wrong. I mean, it's Spirit Advisor is the answer, but Human Advisor probably doesn't show up, but it's not one of the choices.
Sorry, the Advisor card.
Yeah, Spirit Advisor's wrong. So a Cyclops Warrior that doesn't show up.
Oh, okay.
So the Crocodile Frog is on a common card. It's called Croconura, which is a Reach 1/3 and Evolve creature. It's a common. And then Experiment 1 was the Human Ooze. Obzet is the Spirit Advisor. Remember Obzet? The one that Mitch uses as commander. And
yeah, Mitch is commander for...
Yeah, and then it was kind of a trick question because there's no Cyclops Warrior, but there is a Fortress Cyclops, which is a Cyclops Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now we start with James here. So which 2 Theros gods are twins?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Is it Aetherios and Krufix, Erebos and Heliod, Irios and Magus, or Karametra and Kranos?
I gotta go B.
The Erebos and Heliod?
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Jake, you want to try and steal?
Yeah, Erois and Mogus.
Yeah, they're both gods of war, so they're twins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was thinking like the yin and yang kind of thing, but...
Yeah, that's what Erebos Heliod would be.
Yeah, because I know they're black and white.
Another thing would be to think, Karametra and Karanos are both Ks, but that seems too easy.
Yeah.
All right, so question 26, we'll start with Jake here. There's a creature in Dragons of Takir that is almost identical to a creature in Khans of Takir, with just one minor tweak. What is that tweak? A few images were added to the art. They changed the creature type. It gained a power. One of its generic mana became a colored mana.
I have no clue because this is at the point I was taking a break, but I'm going to guess C.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
So James.
Yeah, I was also taking a break during this time, honestly. Well, what were the other 3 answers?
Some images were added to the art. They changed the creature type, or one of its generic mana became a colored mana.
I'm going to say D.
Also incorrect.
Damn.
So
Okay.
it's, they just added some images to the art.
Okay. Oh, I was thinking
So the card is Summit Prowler. If you look at it in Khans, it's a 4/3 for 4 Yeti with mountains in the background. If you look at it in Dragons, it's a Summit Prowler 4 for a 4/3 Yeti with mountains in the background and some dragons chasing it. So it's literally the exact same card with a few dragons in the background.
Because I know they've changed mana costs like colors before, so I was thinking maybe that was it. But
yeah, I'm sure they do stuff like that all the time. They just decided to print the same card 2 sets in a row instead.
Yeah, I mean they do that.
The art tweak.
I mean they do that with Cultivate and Kodama's Reach is exactly the same card. It's just a different name. Literally, that's the only difference.
All right, so now James, we start with you on this here. What is the greatest number of energy symbols to appear on one card in Kaladesh?
Oh my
Is it
God.
9, 11, 14, or 16?
Crap, when all was in Kaladesh. I didn't really play that set. I'm gonna go with 11.
That is incorrect.
Dang it.
So, Jake, your chance to steal.
I feel like I vaguely remember this, and like I heard it somewhere, and I'm gonna guess 14.
Yeah, it is 14.
Okay.
Aether Torch Renegade had 14 energy symbols on it. So when you enter, you gain 4, and then it has pay 2, deal 1 damage, or pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, deal 6 damage to a player or planeswalker.
Jeez, that's insane.
That's so obnoxious.
And then there's also a card that has 11 and 9, but no card that has 16. All right, so now Jake's turn to be first here. As of the end of 2017, in how many different sets could you open a full art land in a booster pack? 6, 7, 8, or 9?
Oh, this really separates the men from the boys, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, and the funny thing is 2017 was before nowadays where it's in every set.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?
Let me try to think of all of them. So you got the unglued sets that they're in every single one of those. You got the Oath of the Gatewatch and the Battle for Zendikar. Is it 6?
6 is incorrect.
Okay.
So James' chance to steal.
So what, 7, 9, or something?
7, 8, or 9.
7, 8, or 9. I'm gonna say 7.
It's also incorrect. It's 9.
9.
So at the time in
Really?
2017, it was Unglue, Unhinged, Unstable. So that's 3 unhinged sets.
Yeah.
Zendikar, Battle for Zendikar, Worldwake, Oath of the Gatewatch, Amonkhet, and Hour of Devastation.
Yeah, that makes
So I'm
sense.
guessing the Amonkhet.
I
Hour of
forgot about
Devastation
those
were
other
the
two.
you
Yeah. I forgot they did those Nico Bolas ones and whatnot.
Right.
Crap, forgot about those.
I didn't know what time those had came out.
Prior to 2017, apparently.
Because I knew there was all the 3 unsets and like all like the Zendikar ones. I was like, what the hell else is there? I forgot about the Egyptian shit. Like, again, I didn't really play those sets that much, so I forget like what's in them.
All right, so James, it is now time for you to do a question first here. So if you wanted a chance to hold in your hand the same artifact that Squee is holding in his hand on his Dominaria card, what set would you have to purchase? Apocalypse, Tempest, Mercadian Masks, or Urza's Destiny?
Oh, jeez. And say the answers one more time.
Apocalypse, Tempest, Mercadian Masks, or Urza's Destiny?
I'm gonna say Apocalypse.
That's incorrect. So Jake, chance to steal.
Sticking with artifacts, and he's holding an artifact, Urza's Destiny.
That's also incorrect. So the correct answer is Tempest. So it says Squee is holding his toy, Squee's toy. First seen, that card is in Tempest. In the story, Squee accidentally activates his toy, unaware of what it does, and saves the day while in the death pits of wrath.
See, that's funny because I do remember that card being a thing way back when. I could not remember what set it was in.
Yeah, it says Tempest. It's a 1 mana artifact that taps to prevent a damage.
Yeah, it's whoop-de-doo. I know it's something stupid, but yeah.
All right, so Jake, you get the last question here. In how many languages is Magic currently printed? 10, 11, 12, or 13?
Oh, God.
Who really knows this? I mean, I'm sure there's some people, but... Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. 11.
11's correct.
Hey.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's kind of a trick question too, because two of them are, so it's Chinese simplified, Chinese traditional is two of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then English, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, and Spanish.
Why is that a trick question?
Because Chinese.
Because there's two
simplified.
Chinese.
So
I mean, that makes sense.
Chinese would be 10.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose.
Right.
I guess eeny, meeny, miny, moe worked once.
All right, so
Okay.
Jake, let's see, you had about 25 correct, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, like all of them
Okay.
correct.
So it says here they gotta add up your scores, see how you did. So if you have 1 to 9 correct, you have a lot to learn about Magic trivia, James.
Apparently.
10 to 15, you've obviously been paying some attention. 16 to 20, you're starting to show some potential. 21 to 24, you're pretty decent. 25 to 27, very good. Morrow's impressed. 28 to 29, you have Magic trivia skills, and 30 correct. Morrow bows down to you.
I don't know. I feel like, so 25, right?
Yeah.
Very good, and Morrow is impressed with me. I feel like that's just as good as him bowing down to me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I picked up a lot of knowledge. You know me, I have a very good trivia mind.
Yeah, I'm
And,
not good at multiple choice anyway, so I'm not surprised.
well, I got a lot of help from guessing C.
Yeah, you can see a lot, and it paid off for you very well. But I don't know, there's a lot of that stuff that I just did not.
Well, see, they say if you're taking a multiple choice test and you guess if you guess C for all of them, it's some like random number where you get like 60% of the answers right. Some weird stat that makes it so you'll have most of the answers right.
Yeah,
And maybe not most, but a certain amount, So
All right, so now we're going to go on to our segments here. So
Corey's Crazy Card.
Corey's Crazy Card segment this week is Shahrazad. God, I can't even pronounce the card.
come on, Corey, it's your card.
Shahrazad.
it's just Shahrazad.
All right, Shahrazad. We'll have to edit all that shit out.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. We're going to leave it in. All right, Shahrazad, which is a white and a white for 2 mana sorcery. Players play a Magic subgame using their decks and libraries as their decks. Each player who doesn't win the subgame loses half their life, rounded up. So that card's crazy because you literally just play a subgame in the middle of your game and then go back to what you were doing.
Oh God.
It's banned in a lot of formats.
Yeah, I can see why.
I would love to play that card. Like, just make it okay in our commander play group and just everyone runs it. That would be fun.
Yeah, so next we got Sleepy Sweeper.
Sleepy's sweeper this week is going to be, since last episode we talked about Damnation, I'm going to go with the obvious next choice, Wrath of God. It's basically the white Damnation. Same cost except for it's 2 whites, and it's a board wipe. And why not talk about Wrath of God if you're talking about Damnation?
Yeah, I think it was one of the first board wipes ever printed, too.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, that does make sense.
All right, and then we got James's Jungle. What is your jungle card this week, James?
James's Jungle.
All right, this week, this is technically, I'm going a little off brand here because it's technically green and white, but it's still in this. It's the half symbol from Shadowmoor, but it is Whitleaf Liege because it is a very good card, especially if you are running both green and white. It costs 4 for a 4/4, which in itself is good stats. And then of course it gives other green creatures +1/+1 and other white creatures +1/+1. And then if they of course happen to identify with both the colors, they technically get +2/+2. So a very good status effect. And then it also basically avoids things like Thoughtseize and whatnot, because if it was to be discarded, you just play it for free. So overall, it is a very good card, and is very versatile, and it's for what it is and what how much it costs. It does a lot.
Yeah, that's a jungle card, and it buffs all of your jungle stuff. All right, so thanks guys for listening today. Again, you can follow us on all social media platforms. We have TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just look up MTG Place. You should find it. I believe Twitter is underscore MTG underscore Place. And then we also have a TCG affiliate link, which if you're in our Discord or you check out our website, mtgplace.com/mysite. You will see the link for that there. And then we also have a Patreon. If you search MTG Place, you can support us that way as well. And always thank you for listening, and we hope you share it with your friends. If they need to, they can listen to it on Spotify or wherever podcasts are. You can really just search MTG Place on almost any podcast app, and you're going to find us. Thanks for listening.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for your continued support.